Hey guys, before you get into the episode, this is Sean letting you know that I'm officially a brand ambassador for Lift Life. Lift Life is a fitness brand that focuses on selling fitness apparel and fitness equipment for all your workout needs. And what makes them so distinguishable from the rest of the brands is their ability to take street trends and implement them into their line of work. And honestly, I've been a fan of all the things that they have. It's been amazing, and I want you guys to be part of the experience. So if you go check out at the bottom of the description, you will see a link to Lift Life. And if you purchase now, you get to use my code, THESAFEROOM, to get 10% off your purchase. So make sure you go check out the link and make sure you use the code THESAFEROOM to get 10% off your purchase. I know it changed my life, and I hope it changes your life as well. Now, on to the episode. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Safe Room. I am your president, Sean Williams, and we are back with another episode. And today we're gonna take a trip back memory lane, even though kind of live in the moment still, but it is what it is. So I want to talk about university, but most importantly, my experience at York University. Now, albeit I'm in my fourth year right now, so I'm not technically done, but listen, the finish line is right there, okay? So I'm keeping out hope. 8 more months. I'm counting down the days, crossing my my T's, dotting my I's, you know what it is. So hopefully we'll make it there. But I do want to talk about my personal experience, what I thought about university, what it meant to me, what it didn't mean to me at some points, the ups, the downs, the good, bad, and ugly, and just maybe steps moving forward for myself, or maybe for someone that you're interested in going to university, if you're graduating high school or something like that, or maybe you want to know from my perspective. Again, I don't want to keep this too long because I don't want to go into whole rants about me being in university and maybe certain portions as well for like 40 minutes. Plus, it's 8:42. I don't know what it's been, but we've been recording a lot of late night episodes. Maybe that's what I'm in my bag. That's, I guess, like more like when it's nighttime, I'm more savvy. I'm more like crazier than in the daytime. I'm more calm and relaxed. So I don't know. Tell me, what Sean you prefer more, like late night Sean or just daylight Sean? Let me know. But one thing's for sure, this is going to be a lot of things spilled out. A lot of tea going to be spilled. I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to tell you like it is because, I always keep it real. I always keep it 100 or 100, whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I can't even think straight. Before we get into it, just a couple of things. Again, I have a big announcement that I have been talking about. Big things are on the way. And I can't wait for you guys to figure that out. I don't know if anyone's guessing. I'm going to keep reminding you. And again, if it comes off as spam, take it as it is, bro. Because I don't care. Like, honestly, I'm going to spam it until the day comes. And when I announce I'm even spam even further. I'm going to go even further, push the envelope. That's just how it's going to be. That's coming up. We're coming up to episode 50 real soon. And I'm telling you, I have a special guest in the works. I can't say it's confirmed, can't confirm or deny, but it's still in the works. But man, I do have a special setup for that day as well. So again, make sure you stay tuned in for that. And also, if you guys didn't get the message in the intro of this podcast, I am a brand ambassador for Lift Life. So basically, they're a store who sells fitness apparel, fitness equipment, anything from like shirts, shorts, track suits and everything. They even have like a resistance band set. They have everything, ankle weights, you name it. They're amazing. I hit them up and I became one of their brand ambassadors. I've been using their stuff. It's been amazing. It's been wonders to me. And I'm hoping to pass it on to you guys. So if you love fitness, if you love your mental health, if you love being in shape, just doing it for you, not just for likes, not for the gram, but just for you. It keeps you in Zen mode. Then I am asking you guys to go shout out Lift Life. Make sure you go check out their site, purchase their gear, and not only that, you can get 10% off your purchase using the code THESAFEROOM. So again, if you're gonna purchase something for Lift Life, help out your boy and go use that code THESAFEROOM, all caps, to get 10% off your purchase. Please go do that. I really love the gear. I love Live Life. You know, they're doing amazing things. They just dropped more stuff for their collection. So make sure you go shout them out. Courtesy of me, your president, Sean Williams from the Safe Room. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. So let's get into it. York. Now, for all the people who don't know, I started York in 2018. And it's crazy how, like, I'm in my 4th year. Hopefully it'll be my last year, because let me tell you something, I'm not taking it next year. I'm not taking a 5th year. If I do, Lord help me. But it's crazy how I told myself at that young age in 2018, I'm like, this is about to be dreadful. This is about to be like such a stressful period, and you know, I'm just gonna be wishing for the days to come to say I'm finished, to say that, okay, I'm moving on, the chapter is done, and officially tell myself I'm done with like school. Like, I'm done with academic work, like going to classes every single day. You know, I thought at that time in 2018, it was just going to be such a hard and gruesome process. And to be honest, I can say with a straight face now, after reflecting, nothing has changed. Like, nothing has changed. It still has been gruesome. Now, I know a lot of people speak on how, oh, their university experience was amazing. And don't get me wrong, like, it's not that it hasn't been bad for me, but it's just like, I think I'm a person that takes pride into, like, you know, doing work and making sure I get it done. Like, if I leave work just unattended, then it's going to drive me crazy, where to the point like I can't focus on anything else but that specific task or assignment or whatever. So when people were, like, you know, relaxing and just enjoying themselves, me, like, I was always doing something. And even if I took my foot off the gas for just 1 second, it was so weird. So for me, I didn't really have the chance to like have any enjoyment. Yeah, I was always like trying to just do work. Like, here's the thing. Like, what was it? York Fest? I've never been to one York Fest. Not one. Not one. Like, I can't tell you how it went, or how just the performance was, all the different stuff that happened within that week. I can't tell you that. Now listen, do not get it twisted. I like me some fun. I would like to go to parties and do more. I really do. But like I said, at the time being, I was so focused in terms of classes. I was like, I'm not even taking the chance. I'm not taking the chance to really get myself hooked in with all this stuff, and then I'm not focused on the task at hand. No. And you know what? This may even be an unpopular opinion, but like, I feel like I would have been the type to be super burned out if I did take the opportunity to go to those parties. I feel like after maybe 3, I'll be like, you know what? You kind of been to one, you've seen it all. That might be a hot take to everyone, but I mean, for me, it's just like, I don't really get that sense, especially university. I mean, I'm assuming university, college, even though some people say it may be similar, some people say it's different, I just feel like even if I didn't want to go out, I'm not going out to every single major event. Like, I might choose, like, specifically, maybe I'll go to like Afrofest, maybe I'll go to one York Fest in a while, maybe I'll go to like a sporting event if there's like a basketball game or a soccer game, because I've actually been to a couple of soccer games and basketball games before in the past, but it's just, I'm not trying to go somewhere every single week. Like, if y'all are doing that, then clearly you just love partying and getting yourself in those situations. And kudos to you. Me, listen, man. I can't even go out without me thinking about, you know, when is this gonna end? Like, I'm that person. You can say I'm that responsible dude who just doesn't know when to let go at some point. But you know what? That's me. I ain't changing nothing about me, and there's nothing people could do to change about me. That's just how it is. So yeah, throughout my entire experience up to this point, I haven't tried to like be too like radical when it comes to like parties and social functions and everything. So I've just been focused on my work. Now, let's get to that work aspect. I honestly, before, like, have you ever had that feeling where, like, you were in high school and when you're about to graduate, you were telling yourself, like, oh my God, yo, that work was bullshit, bro. I can't wait till, like, I go out of high school. I move on to different things, the work there was so annoying. Like, you have to learn about, what's it, y equals mx plus b squared, whatever, for math. And you have to talk about science with biology, the chemistry periodic table, English with Shakespeare, World War II, the Holocaust, even like, other classes like arts, having to do like drawings and stuff. Like for a high school student, let me tell you something, high school students, they really did not care. They're just like, listen, I'm just here and like, I'm just going to do a pretty decent effort just to get through. Like that's really it. Because like everyone knows, like high school is different to middle school. Like middle school, you can legit do nothing and they'll let you through still. They're like, you're graduating. All right. High school, obviously, there's a certain requirement in terms of like how high your marks got to be. Like you need like a 50 to pass. So it's like, okay, I'll give like a minimal effort, something like that, right? And then obviously at university, colleges, they take it to extra height where it's like, okay, you're paying for each course, and if you fail, it's like, oh, that's money wasted. And I think that's another reason why I was so focused. Listen, me, I don't know what y'all be people doing when you get money. I don't spend it. Listen, you give me a $100 like dollars right now, $100,000 right now, I will be like, yo, that's gonna stay there for like the next 10 years. Like I'm not gonna touch it. Like when I say I'm not gonna touch it, I'm gonna use it, but it's not gonna be splurged around like crazy. Like you give me 1K right now, a month later, I'll probably still have like what, half of it left. There'll be some of y'all be getting paychecks and y'all be spending it like wild, like just going nuts. And listen, I understand that when you get checks like that, you get money like that, because we live in such a broken society, a broken system where capitalism is against us, especially marginalized communities, that you need to take the chance on that. But at the same time, there's such thing as like financial literacy. There's such things as investing in your money. I have a savings account, and anything that I don't use, I'm putting it there. Some people even have like an ATM, like a mini ATM in their house. Do that. But going back to what I was saying, when I left high school, I thought, okay, you know what? The work is gonna get hard. It's gonna get hard, but I feel like, and this was my ideal or my presumption, which was completely wrong after like a month, was that the work's gonna be hard, but I feel it's gonna be more engaged. I feel like, okay, you know what? They're gonna speak more of like an open perspective. Everything's gonna be more conversational, and like even though the lecture's gonna be taught like that, I felt like they're gonna approach it more like not too strict or not too dense, but more just like, all right, I'm gonna talk about this. Let's connect it to a real life issue, or let's try to see if we can get some people to talk. If not a lecture, definitely a tutorial. This, like, after a month, I realized that it's worse. It's absolutely worse. If you tell me right now, take me right now, 2021 Sean Williams, place him in high school right now, put me in Downview Secondary School right now, and tell me to do the work, the curriculum there, I'm telling you, 100% across the board. I'm not failing. Because it made me realize that, wow, university work is absolutely boring. It's boring. But I don't want to generalize that. When I say it's boring, I mean it's boring, but it really depends on your interests, your intrigue, and what they're teaching you. Let me explain. So my major is business and society, which is something that I had no clue I even wanted to do. I think there was like 3 times I changed my mindset to like I wanted to say. First, I wanted to do sports management, and then I'm like, oh, that's all the way up in Brock and St. Catharines. I don't know if I want to be doing that at the time being. So I'm like, okay, let me try something else. Then there was this thing about me doing law, and I think it's because like I had the Harvard windbreaker jacket with the Harvard Law School, and literally everyone in the assumption was like, "Oh my God, you're going to Harvard? You're going to law school in Harvard?" I'm like, first of all, like, what? I ain't gonna do law. Do I look like someone that can be a lawyer? Come on now. Like, do I think? No, I'm not doing that. Number two, you know how much paperwork that's gonna have to deal with? And number three, honestly, I don't even think I'm one of the qualified person to do something like that, especially if I'm one of the people who always critiques the court system, the court. Like, I can't be those person. I can't pronounce it. The judicial system, basically. If I'm always criticizing the Supreme Court and all the stuff that's happening within the states, how, reenacting laws and, again, the mistreatment of blacks and all that, like, I can't be in that realm because I will do more than actually try to fix it, but more try to break it from the inside. So I'm like, no, I can't. So there was sports management, that was a loss. There was law, that was a dead loss. And then there was business. And I discovered this in my last year in high school. I took a class, shout out to Mr. Williamson, like, hey, he's a real one. So I took his class and I was like, you know what? This ain't too bad. This is not too bad. I'm not gonna lie, I like to talk, even though it's a little hard to understand, and I do have questions about it. It's interesting, it's intriguing, and I can, like, what? I could actually see myself within this field, me running a business, or more importantly, maybe figuring out ways to develop strategies where you promote corporate governance, or that, you focus more about the community and their public interests. I'm like, this is something that I like to do. So I took business and society in York. It was interesting because this was a program, especially like in Vanier College, because again, York has like different like placements, like Vanier, Staunton, Calumet, McLaughlin, Founders, Windsor, so on, New College, whatever. It was one of the more main things at the time. Like, people were taking business society a lot, and I was like, oh snap! I'm like, yo, it's probably gonna be difficult because, like, even going into York, I didn't know much because I was only that 1 year I took business in high school, and it wasn't even fully in depth. It didn't really critically analyze everything. So it was like I was still lost. I was still confused. So when I got there, they're talking about dudes like Adam Smith. And let me tell you something. If anyone studies business and society in York, Adam Smith is like literally as common as if you drop your phone on every day. Like, it's always gonna pop up. No matter what course you're taking, you're gonna hear that name somewhere. Adam Smith, The Invisible Hand, Wealth of Nations. Like, you're gonna hear it, okay? So me, as the big idiot, I was like, who? Who's Adam Smith? And obviously, for everyone who actually got the chance to get a proper education, thank you, Downji, for not doing that. For the people who actually got to understand like those types of, theorists, economists, and all the different concepts, they're looking at me like, what the heck you mean you don't know who Adam Smith is? I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. And I'm like, listen, don't blame me if I don't know shit on a certain subject matter, because we all grew up in different experiences and in different timelines, okay? This is like the multiverse with Loki. Like, listen, I'm not within this realm, okay? So don't get at me if I don't know this person. So, again, in my first year, I was struggling to, like, really cope with everything. When I say I was struggling, like, I'm telling you, I was, like clinging to life at itself. I was like, Lord Jesus, help me, Father, through these tough times, through these trials and tribulations. Amen, amen, amen. So I was also part of the BUSO club. And again, I had no clue what I was doing. I think I remember very well. I walked in. I met this dude named Tien. Shout out to Tien. He was actually part of Court Advantage podcast in season 1 and everything. He's doing things for himself now. I hope he's doing well. I walked in, I tell him, like, yo, is this the BUSO Club? Because I heard it from orientation. He's like, yeah, man, it's the BUSO Club. And I'm like, yo, I want to join. He's like, all right, cool, man, cool. What position you going for? So me, for all the people who know me from down to me being the outgoing person, I'm like, yo, do you got any executive positions like pres, vice pres? And he's like, whoa, vice pres? I'm like, what, did I say something wrong? He's like, no. It's like, I like your enthusiasm, but like, most of the teams filled out. And I'm like, Pause. So you just told me there's any position you want to go for, yet you're gonna tell me that the club has no position? He's like, no, technically we have a first year representative. So basically the first year rep is kind of like the person that talks to the first year incoming students within the Vanier community, gets them involved with all the clubs and the updates that we have. I'm like, all right, cool. So I kind of just fit in through there, and like I'm not gonna lie, the election was like months like later on, but I was already so connected with the current group that like when it came for me to get interviewed, like it was so awkward because it's like we knew you like 3 months ago, and like you're sitting here applying for the role, like there's no one else that's gonna go for it, so whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. So my first year, it was something. It was just such a lot to deal, but more in terms of like schoolwork, it was so hectic. Like you took econs. Listen, I don't know if you guys like econ. I hate it. It was so annoying. Oh my gosh. I used to take like little quizzes and stuff. 15 minutes. You only have 15 minutes to answer like 10 questions. And if you think that's simple, if y'all think that's simple, just wait. Just wait. When you see the bullshit, you would wish you had an extra 15 minutes to do that. It's absolutely stressful. Imagine having to answer like 15 questions in 15 minutes or 10 questions in 15 minutes. That means you have to know. And if the moment you stumble on one question, just one, you're putting yourself in panic. You really are. I've had some good professors in that first year. Those were inside the BUSO program, those outside. But yeah, my first year was just so much. But the work was just so much. Like you had to type like 10 pages, 2,000 word essays and everything. And like that would become the standard when it came to like, social science courses. All social science courses. If you never in your life up to this point got a assignment that was at least 1,500 to 2,000 words max, or 8 to 10 pages or 10 to 12 pages, then you're not in the BUSO program. You can't really say you're in the program because that is a constant. That is something that's going to happen. All right? It's the inevitable, okay? So I'm now looking at myself like after 1 year, how the hell am I going to do this for 3 more years? Like, see, how? Look, I kid you not. In my first year, that had to be the most active I was because I was so open and I'm like, you know what? I'm not really going to focus on the work because it's not killing me at that time. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to venture out and see what I can do. So I did a couple intramural events, and may I just say, those were amazing. Regardless the sport, there was always a turnout. The competition was there, but you also saw like the unity, the community in there. It was amazing. The Tate gym is beautiful. Beautiful. I was at a point I was part of the Vanier Athletics Club. That was fun as well. But again, nothing much really happened in that sense. Second year, wasn't really different. I wasn't part of the BUSO club. That is for other reasons. And if you guys want to know about that, I'll give you something in the future. Fair warning if I can get permission from some of the club members, because I don't want to put anyone on blast like that. I don't. Because again, I do respect everyone at that time being. But if I do get the thumbs up, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I will tell you about something that happened this year. If I get a thumbs up by a certain individual, you know who you are. So second year, again, nothing much happened in terms of like me being active. Again, BUSO, I didn't do that much. I think second year was definitely the year I did the best academically because I really wasn't doing anything else. I was so focused on work. And not to say that after that I didn't care. But trust me, when we get to third year, you're gonna understand why I did not care. But yeah, nothing else crazy happened. I did get to meet new people and establish better relationships as well. And I think that's the one thing that's important with university. I think one of my classes I had in my second year, one of my professors, she kind of put it so beautifully and like wrapped it with a bow. University is not about getting high marks. It's not about the highest GPA. Let me tell you something. My sister says this one famous quote: C's get degrees, okay? Like, listen, I don't have to try anything. And more importantly, if I'm going for a job interview, because eventually when we're done university, college, we want to get into the workplace, is the person who's interviewing you, are they going to look at your GPA and be like, oh, wow, you got a 6.4 overall. You did bad in econ classes. Oh wow, you did okay in this class. No one's gonna look at that because again, that's not really what we're here for. No one's going to evaluate you based on what you did on a course that has nothing to do with the position you're applying for. And if it does, then how come it's that you are now judging me in the sense of a course in which we probably were talking about historical contexts and maybe theories and practices that happened way before, prior up to this point. You don't know if because I took a course on corporate social responsibility that we were talking about concepts just now. It could be concepts back then. And secondly, for you to go through all that trouble just to do that, it just shows that you're someone that just likes to dig, get in people's business, and just not respect their privacy. So, sorry, not sorry. Anyway, basically, university is not about just high marks. It's not about just going there to go in there. It's not even about the friendships, and that's even a controversial one. Listen, I have a lot of people I talk to. I'm an introvert. I love to conversate. I like to talk to people. I love having conversation. So you know me. If I get the right person, like we're talking, like in the classroom or whatever, or whether it's online, in person. If I talk to you, if I get a good vibe, listen, I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna talk to you. I might have know you from association. I might connect deeper and you're my friend, or oh, you're one of my top friends. And listen, I'm not about to name anyone because I don't want no smoke. I don't want no conflict. Okay, it's not even that. My professor at the time says university is about networking, and honestly, it hit me so hard in the chest. I could have swore that I was like, wow, damn, that is so true. Because here's the thing, we all go there. Yes, we have classes. Yes, there's clubs. Yes, we have all these other things. But eventually what all it ties and intertwines into is that we are meeting new people. And yes, you're probably thinking, oh, Sean, doesn't friends kind of constitute as networking? Yes and no, because you can have friends with someone, but you're not really trying to create opportunities from it. It's more just for your own self-interest, for your own pleasure. Oh, you know what? I just kind of want to meet someone that, I can talk about certain topics with, things like something on social media or sports or maybe political issue. You have people like that. But to be talking to those people, but also build relationships where hey man, I found this opportunity here, man. I think you would be perfect since we've been talking for this long. I want to hook you up. It's oh cool, man. Yeah, I heard about this job opening as well. I can hook you up with that. Cool. Whether it's professor, it's you know what, if you need if you're applying for a job, you need a reference, just hit me up, make sure. That's the one common thing I hear, especially for introductory courses for any York class, especially for BUSO. Every time they will always mention, please stop by my office hours. I don't like being lonely. You can talk to me, and whoever knows, if you establish a good relationship with me, I might give you a reference and everything. And listen, you know me, I don't play with that. Getting references is probably the most difficult thing when it comes to a job, an application process. It's hard. Not even job applications, scholarships, bursaries. They'll be you need a reference, and now you're panicking. You're just kind of scavenging just to find something. It's reckless. It's absolutely reckless. But yeah, networking, that's what we're here for. We're here to build relationships, have those opportunities, connect with those people, and then even show the student clubs. Another thing that student clubs do a lot that I even experienced in my time with the BUSO club is that, oh, if I go to this event, will I get extra credit? It's gonna happen. It's a common thing. It'd be oh, can I get some extra marks off of this? It's sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. But you know what? It shows that they want to get these opportunities, and that's what's important. And once I realized that after earlier on in my second year, I think that's when the pressure of doing just work, just dropped. I'm like, you know what? Forget what GPA I get. You can give me a 6.2 overall. I do not care. What I care about is at the end of this, I want to say that I had a great time making relationships, making new friends. But most importantly, I have something I can build on. Now, going to my 4th year, I have this podcast, and honestly, I do have ideas I want to do. So I will say I made the right decision, but I have to say I have to thank that professor as well, because what she said was honestly something that kind of changed my university career for the better. But yeah, for anyone who said that university is there for marks, stop the cap. Stop the foolishness. You're there because you want to network. And don't get me wrong, if you want to get those marks, go ahead. If you want to go to graduate school, you want to get your master's and everything, go ahead. No one's stopping you. But see me, like, listen, if I had to spend another year in New York, I think I would just call it quits. I would just throw in the towel. I'm like, yeah, nope. You're not gonna have me stuck for another 8 months. Like, and here's the crazy thing: I haven't even took summer school. I haven't. Like, I have a certain amount of credits I need to get done. I haven't took it. I haven't took summer school to try to even speed up the process. Because number one, two, you're not taking away my summer. Especially what happened last year. We're not going to speak about that, but you know what I mean. You're not taking away my summer. I need some freedom. I need it. But I mean, that's just my take on the second year in university. And here's where things get from, pretty inspirational and okay to absolutely curveball and sideways. 3rd year. Now, the first half of 3rd year was It wasn't crazy, wasn't insane, but I think we can all agree, whatever year it was, whether it was your 3rd year, your 1st year, the year of 2020, it might have been my worst year. Actually, not might, it was. We'll have to see. I say might because the 4th year just started. We don't know. So far, it's been going pretty great. Nothing crazy. I will say I do have so much assignments due in a specific time frame. Multiple time frames, which I do not appreciate. But 2020 was horrible. And I say that in the sense not because it was online, but the fact that professors and TAs and the administration, York as a whole, the process, the rollout of this online platform and everything, where they just didn't care. You can tell they didn't care, and it didn't give me a reason to care. I just didn't. And to be honest, like, if you ask me if I had to go back there, like, I wouldn't. I would not. Like, that period was dreadful. I'm talking about I had to wake up early in the morning. Even though I'm just a couple steps from my laptop, I didn't want to go online. It was at a point where I was genuinely just ditching classes. I was like, nope, I can't. I can't. It's crazy too, because I was working a couple of jobs at the time. And again, I had my podcast. So I already was on Zoom. And it wasn't even fatigue. It was more of like, I don't mind. I would rather sit in front of this, right in front of you guys, with a mic, and talk to you for 24 hours straight, rather than sit in a 2-hour Zoom lecture. I would rather do that. Like, honestly, because it's not just about, me sitting in front of a screen. It's, again, are you grabbing my interest? Are you going to teach me something that, I can honestly look back, obtain some skill set that I can apply? Because I think that's another thing that lecturers fail to do. I understand you want to teach the material, and again, you have an obligation. You guys probably have contracts. You guys are being paid. So who am I to speak on that? But I would like to rebuttal and be like, you know what? If you do want to get your money's worth, how about you're able to change someone's life for the better, rather than bore me with talking about Adam Smith, John Locke, Karl Marx, Keynes, whoever. Like, you don't have to do that. You can get your money's worth and you can help some people. See, In my third year, I really realized that the work that they give you, especially if you're in that program, you stay within a certain stream or you're headed within a certain path that tells you, okay, you taking these classes, these are your prerequisites, these are the different avenues that you can take. You can take this class, but remember, there's a prerequisite for that. So again, there's still limitations. Once you understand that, everything's copy and paste. Like, I kid you not. The classes I took last year were just nothing of copies and paste from my first 2 years. And that's okay because you kind of get more deeper understanding. Maybe you get an extra course to go extra depth on a topic that, wasn't as, fuller into detail in your first 2 years. But again, it goes back to intrigue. It goes back to, are you going to pique my interest? And boy, oh boy, guys, there were classes that I told you, there were times I was legitimately trying. I wasn't even trying. I was avoiding. I'll tell you a story. You want to hear a story? Okay. I took this class on equity issues in Ontario. It was on a Tuesday, 10:30 to 12:30 the lecture, 2:30 to 3:30 the tutorial, okay? When I say that this class was horrible, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. So I remember the first class. I was there sitting. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And again, it was on equity issues in Ontario. I thought, what an interesting topic. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to like this. And the professor was from a minority group. And I was like, even better. Great. You get to talk about equity issues in Ontario. You don't have to sit in front of a white man. I'm like, we're 2 for 2. Let's go. And then he gets into the material. I can't tell you that I love to read, because if you tell me to read like a 300-page book, I might as well tell you I'll get back to you a year later, because I can't do that. But when I say that this dude had the reading speed of a sloth, it was crazy. It was actually insane. I really thought to myself, this dude is moving at turtle speed. This man is moving slower than a snail. This man is defining time itself and stopping it. Reality does not exist. We are living in a interdimensional, fictional bubble. What is space? What is time? I was really thinking to myself. He had 31 slides that first lecture. Mind you, the lecture is 2 hours. After an hour and 45 minutes, he was only on slide 9. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell did I even pay my money for? Did I really just waste about $700 for this? So from there, I thought, okay, this is not good. I'm like, hope, and I'm praying to Almighty Jesus right at this point. Let the tutorial at least be decent. Let it be decent. And it was just worse. It was just worse. The TA had clearly had no care. She, first of all, her camera wasn't on. And I think anyone who took online classes, I'm pretty sure it's in the TA's obligation, and the professor, because the professor also had his camera off, it's in their obligation to have your camera on. Now, you can get on students about, oh, well, your camera's not on either. I'm the student. I have the right to do that. You don't. I want to see your face. And if I can't see your face, there should be something where you have office hours where I can still see your face. I had a class that was asynchronous, pre-recorded lectures. She taught the lectures. Her camera wasn't on. But when you had office hours, you saw her face. How do I know I'm not talking to a bot? I don't know I'm not talking to AI. I could be talking to Siri, but with a different accent. Alexa. What's going on? So I need to see your face, because for all I know, you could be some middle-aged dude across the world. You could be some woman who has never like taught a class in her life. I need to make sure. And don't forget, like, there's rate my professors. Like, I could search up your photo. So again, I need to make sure. Okay? Okay? Okay, cool. So you guys are caught up on that speed. She was confused. We have to do presentations every single week. She kept switching up the schedule. She kept removing members all over the place. I think there was a time I was in a group, then I was out of a group, then I was in a group again, then I went solo. There was a moment I was in a group of 3 and I had to go solo at the time because no one showed up. No one showed up, and I'm like, can I get full marks for this? She wasn't sure. And then next thing you know, the week I have to go solo, I'm missing one reading. She's telling me it's there. The reading is there. Go check the thing. I'm telling her you are incorrect. I'm literally in the middle of the podcast right now, Mom. Okay. Anyway, guys, she was like, there's a missing reading, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, what is going on? And I thought to myself, you know what? This ain't worth it. This is not worth wasting my time from 10:30 to 12:30 and then 2:30 to 3:30. So, guys, I kid you not. Ever since that first lecture, I never went to a full lecture of that class for the rest of the year. I mean it. I never even thought about, hey, you know what? Let me show up. I'm even talking about during the times where it was like midterms and exams. I didn't even think about it. And the craziest thing, I actually passed that class. Well, I got an A. I got an A in that class. Because I was able to comprehend. And that made me also understand too. Sometimes when you take classes in York, you need to know when to sacrifice. You need to know where you tell yourself, okay, you know what? That's the class I'm going to pay attention. Because not only is it interesting, but it's important. The professors and the TAs, they deem it important. So I'm going to put the effort and work for this. And then there's those BS bullshit as classes where like they ain't showing no effort. It's all mixed up. The outlines off balance. The organization's off balance. Presentations and everything. All those are confusing. That's where you tell yourself, you know what? I got to self-manage. Because listen, self-management is the best way for success. If you can manage yourself, you're able to manage others in ways that they can manage their own self. Because you got that experience. You can teach them. Because again, there's a lot of people that can't self-manage. And we're not even just talking about class. We're talking about anything overall. You may have like a job. You may have other priorities. If you can't self-manage, you're not able to lead others so that they can be able to self-manage for themselves. It's a chain reaction. You need to understand that. So when I did, I was able to do it. And then when people were confused, I was able to give them the advice and tell them what to do. And then all of a sudden, it was all of us, we knew what to do. Right? And guys, that was just one class. I took a couple philosophy classes. And let me tell you something. If you are a philosophy major, God bless your soul. I mean, you guys could do that, cool. I'm not sitting there doing that nonsense. The only reason I took it, prerequisites. If not, I would have never even sniffed philosophy. Everywhere I went, I used to go to the gym and meet new people. Every time I told them what was the one thing they always said, I never liked philosophy. Or I took philosophy because it was a prerequisite. And that was the people who were not philosophy majors. I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you can do it. I took a couple econ classes as well. I honestly, I got a C plus in that class, but I didn't care. Because like I said, I don't care about econ. All the economists too believe that, they can run, the economy or all this, like, don't believe in business and CSR and all that nonsense. You can miss me with that bullshit. But yeah, third year was terrible. But also, it kind of gave birth for me to do other things for myself. Hence, the safe room. I kid you not. If third year wasn't so terrible, maybe I would have never had the inspiration to do a podcast. Maybe this would have never been happened. Maybe we would have never been heading in the direction of the 50th episode. Think about that. So you know what, York? I gotta thank you. Thank you for being so crap that year in 2020 that I was able to do this. So thank you. I've been talking negative in third year, but thank you. And also, I was part of the BUSO club. You see, you know, I haven't mentioned the BUSO club because it was irrelevant. I'm sorry. If I offended anyone of that team that year, I'm sorry. We didn't do shit. We didn't do shit. But, like I said, there are some positives. The BUSO program has made me talk a lot about businesses and how to approach certain things. More specifically, the regulation of big businesses. There's a lot of big businesses that go around today, especially within the technological sector. I'm about to talk a little business talk, okay? So if I start sounding nerdy, take it as you wish. Again, I learned a lot that corporations are absolute pricks. They're absolute assholes. Like let's be real, you know. And like I mentioned, there's a lot of corporations, especially within the technological sector, and like that's growing exponentially. Listen, before it was agriculture, that was the main stock, really at the main front. Then you had probably services, and I feel like services is always going to be there because of like other factors. But technological sector, technology advances, those have grown a lot over the time, and it's come to the point where like governments are even struggling to even put these businesses under control. All right, like literally, you see that main purpose for businesses, and again, this is really the assumption that businesses are there to maximize profit within the interest of the shareholders. That's not always true, because there are businesses where, like, you know what, depending on the structure, whether you're more of a private enterprise or maybe a family owned business, you don't want to focus on like profits. Like, you know what, maybe we want to focus just like the interest in like the activities of the corporation, and that's cool. That is fine. Now if you're like a huge public corporation, like maybe like Facebook or Apple, then yeah, you're gonna focus on profit. You're gonna focus on that. But if you're like something more that's like community based, it's like maybe I don't want to focus on profit, but it's more of like go to a stakeholder approach. And for people who don't know what that is, like a stakeholder approach, basically you're focusing on civil society, their needs, the consumers, all the suppliers, the people that you work with. It's all like more of a unity. Whereas maximize profit, it's really for the financial bottom line. A little business talk with the president here, Sean Williams. But no, I really enjoyed my time in the BUSO program. I learned a lot. I learned that surveillance capitalism is real. It's a thing. If people don't start waking up and tell themselves that, oh, the government isn't tracking us, boy, they've been tracking us for decades. They're tracking me right now. I know they are. If you acknowledge it and you just understand the context of it, you would be more aware and more calm about it. Like when I tell people about it, people are like, really? It's like, are you sure? I'm like, they track us everywhere, right? Our phones, the laptops, your cards, your Prestos, literally search engines on Google. Have you ever had a thought about something and then the minute you type in one letter, Google already knows what you're thinking? It's all bots. It's advertising. You know that companies have bids behind doors with Google so that way they can get their ads up front? Or whenever you're searching up something, there's certain results that are coming up top. Let's say, especially for school, imagine you're doing an assignment and you need to get crucial information, very detailed information. But the first thing you see is Wikipedia, the new encyclopedia. Start seeing sites like that, because those are common. Those are what people are going to go to. But maybe if you go there, it's like, that's not what I need. And let's say you have to find a result and you'd be surprised. You probably see them like page 5, page 6. Because the bots, how advertising, because again, like what's it? Isn't it like Google and like Facebook, they own like 70% of like the advertising like control. They're basically going to tell you like, okay, these are popular and all the stuff that's not as popular, they're going to be pushed to the back. They never go in the sense of, okay, what actually can give you the most of it? No, they're going to go based on competition. That's how it works. And that's one thing I also push too, information literacy. I feel like people read a bunch of false narratives, a bunch of misinformation, disinformation, and people don't know what the debunk from the truth is. Even social media. That's another problem. Have you ever had a time where you're scrolling down and you're thinking about something and the next thing that ad pops up for it? Or let's say you type one thing about a certain concept or something like that. Let's say you type about, basketball clips. Next thing you know, you refresh your feed, you're getting a bunch of videos about how to improve your jump shot. Or we're doing basketball camp. Surveillance capitalism. It's real. You have to understand, and that's where information literacy comes through. You need that literacy so that way you can be more informed and understand and grow your knowledge. So that way you won't be misinformed or disinformed with the information being provided. That way you can understand the narrative and critically and analyze it. Say what you want. Yeah, if y'all don't start waking up and realizing that, then I can't save you. I really, really can't save you. But third year was a lot. I did learn a lot from BUSO, even just up to that point from first and second year. Third year, I learned a lot. Fourth year, right now, I'm doing a lot of great things with BUSO. I love the team that we have. We're doing a much better job in terms of just being more focused. Honestly, no shot at BUSO at all, but just I've literally seen it all in my 4 years. I have. So I can just speak from my experiences. Classes, not too bad, except for one. I don't want to get into that because again, it's early. But yeah, it's online. I think I'm more used to it because it's took me a year. I literally had to adjust. It's honestly give me a year and I'll get back to you. That's basically what it is. But overall, the YorkU experience for Sean, was it good? It was If you actually ask me, I preferred my high school experience way more than my university experience. And that's not a bad thing. Don't ever feel that when people say that you need to feel ashamed, oh my God, I should love university, it should be a movie. It's okay. If you didn't like it as much as I did, that's cool. If you did, that's cool with you as well. I'm not one to judge. I just felt like I was so holed up with work because classes and TAs, professors, because they were throwing work at me so much, I never got the chance to actually sit back and say, let me enjoy university. I was in university, but I really wasn't enjoying university. It was just more of a cycle of work, work, work. Something I'm used to. But if you ask me, and honestly, I even talked about this with my sister, if fourth-year students were given an option to come back one more year, not to do work, but to just participate in clubs, to just do whatever they want without the stress and the pressure about dealing with assignments, exams, midterms. Without dealing without that, I guarantee you I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would be doing all the things that I wish I could do. I would go to all the events I wish I could. Because again, I do believe mental health is always important. It's like we said on Court Advantage with Kevin and I. Mental health over everything. I felt there was at a point where it's just I'm not getting the best university experience. I'm really not. But I hope to those who are listening, I'm not trying to scare you. And if it does, I'm scaring you, then I do apologize. But I just wanted to tell you my story. But I'm going to give you an encouragement right now. Do not let the ideal concept of university as in it's hard work, bring down what you can actually aspire in university. Do not let that get to you. Because if you go with that mindset of I have to work all the time, that is something that you are wishing into reality. You're wishing that to happen. But if you just go in there and you do you and you know what you want to do, then it's going to eventually come through. But again, another way to do that, surround yourself with people who are going to be behind you and give you the best experience possible. At the times where you feel down, have those people that can make you laugh. At the times you feel happy, have those people that can lift you up even better. At the times you feel sad, have those people that can motivate you to get you back on your grind. I can say I've had some really good people. There's a lot of good people I've met that have motivated me, have kept me on track to doing what I love to do. And it's led me to this point with my podcast and everything that I have coming for. I'm blessed to be around these people. It's amazing. And again, I am not saying I hated everything about university. I don't. I really don't. I did like it. I did learn a lot. I just wish I didn't have to deal with so much work to the point where every time I wake up, I'm always thinking, all right, I got to do this reading. Rather than, hey, can't wait to go to York and have a great day. But hey, I don't want to scare anyone. If you want to go to university, if you want to go to York, I guarantee you, York is amazing. The community there. Well, you know what? I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole nother conversation. But it's amazing. They're very welcoming. Do it, but at the same time, I would say always be aware. You always have to keep an open eye, so that way you're not closed to the. I try to make a cool sentence and it failed. Basically, keep an open eye. Keep an open eye, guys. But yeah, the YorkU experience, it was all right for me. Nothing too crazy, but I hope to everyone listening who is probably thinking about university, maybe York, I would highly, highly recommend it. But that's about it, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for if you're here by the end of this, I appreciate you guys listening to my story, my YorkU experience. Again, if I had the chance to do it over, would I? Yeah, I would. I'm not gonna lie. I would take the chance to do it again. And I wish it would turn out differently for sure. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at the Safe Room Podcast. Go check out my website as well, the saferoompodcast.com. I haven't been talking about that a lot because I haven't been really trying to post anything, but hopefully I have something in plan. I'm telling you, I need time. Like I'm telling you, once school's done, when I'm I can fully say with a straight face, no more classes, I'm gonna get stuff done. I'm gonna get stuff for this podcast done. You better believe it. Trust me on that. But yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Just go check out the website. I'll put that in the description. And again, we're on the presidential campaign, or the presidential run. There's a big announcement. Don't forget. I'm telling you, do not forget about the. Woo! Don't forget. If you forget, I'm gonna slap you. I won't slap you. I'm a nice guy. But no, for real though, do not forget. Anyway, guys, I told you, late night Sean is toxic. Oh my god. Thank you guys for listening to the Safe Room. I have been the president, Sean William, and I'll see you guys